I mean, in general, I'm going to say I've seen more of aLive than Impact over the course of watching StarCraft. So I would say aLive, I like his Terran style quite a bit. I mean, really, anybody at this level is going to have fantastic micro, good macro, and just decision making is going to be pretty much perfect all the way through. But at the same time, Impact just really has this fantastic ability to swarm. His macro is a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to say, if I had to put money on this, or just my reputation on it, I'd say Impact. We go 3-2 today.
Okay. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. Let's just get these introductions done, then I'll give my piece. It's Impact, playing for Team LP.
And in the bottom right, it's the blue Terran player. It is aLive.
So, I think Impact is gonna crush aLive here.
Okay.
I'm gonna
just
say
crush,
it.
Sweep it.
Maybe my opinion's a little bit dated or biased, but the last time I saw aLive play was also in Afreeca World. I haven't seen him play in anything else recently, but he hasn't really had any super results or anything like that. And just the way he played in the last Afreeca World, I saw he played so reckless. And it kind of worked because it was TvT. When I saw him, he played like a few series versus Dream. It was like a month or two ago. But versus Zerg, you can't play reckless like that. Like you got to play like pretty straight up in a sense. In TvT, there's a lot more wiggle room for how you want to approach the matchup. But I feel like if aLive just plays kind of reckless, Impact's just gonna shut him down hard. And so I'm saying 3-0 Impact.
Woohoo! All right, we'll see who's on top when this is all done and over. But okay, so Terran, I kind of feel like is in a little bit of a rough spot in the matchup of TvZ right now, but I don't know.
Yeah,
they have a lot of harass options, so I feel like if aLive can just kill maybe 10 drones or so here in the first 10 or 15 minutes, then that would help a lot.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how he's going to go about it. I mean, I think you are right. Terran has a bit of a tough time in TvZ, and you said a lot of harassment options. It's almost like Terran only has harassment options. When it comes down to, like, when you actually got to make, like, a definitive blow, it's like, well, I don't have that good of an army. I've harassed a bunch, though, and hopefully your opponent's weak enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen. The way Special plays TvZ, he is always in the Zerg's face. He is pushing on that third base pretty much constantly, starting around the 6-minute mark or so. He's doing Liberator hits at 3 places at once. He's dropping, he's killing creep, he's reinforcing. His macro is insane back home. And basically what he's been able to do to beat players like Raynor, I mean, I've seen him beat Raynor recently in WCS Fall, is he just makes sure the Zerg player never gets up that death ball. The Zerg player never gets, the 8 or 9 Broodlords with the Viper support and the Infestors and the Banelings. It really turns into like maybe 3 or 4 Broodlords, and maybe there's only a couple Banelings, and maybe there are no Vipers at all. And then you can handle that with the Terran army, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what he's been able to do. So if we can see aLive kind of put that pressure on, keep it coming, keep Impact from getting to that really scary death ball point, then I think aLive has a pretty good chance of take a couple of games here today.
Do you think we see Bio or Mech coming out of aLive for this series? Or
I
a
think,
mix of both?
I think Bio has had a greater success rate against Zerg in the games that I've seen. Racecar Mech for a while was really a struggle for Zerg to adjust to and figure out how to play, but anymore, they're throwing down Fungals on that group. They're getting Roach Ravager. They're responding to it pretty fantastically. So I would be surprised if it was Racecar Mech. Traditional Mech, I just don't feel like it's very good either. Just because Neural Parasite's a thing. Neural, the Thors, the tanks, Blinding Clouds, it's just too slow, too easy for the Zerg to surround.
Yeah,
so I really think
pretty good.
They are pretty good. So at this point, I really expect to see pretty much Bio, a lot of barracks coming up here. That's a quick third base from aLive too, being built inside the natural base.
If you're gonna be taking on a Zerg, like you usually want to be playing like a pretty extreme as a Terran, like pretty extreme harassment or pretty extreme greed. And aLive has gone for the extreme greed here. And if he is gonna play Bio, yeah, the 3cc into just like mass Bio can really work well for a Terran if the Zerg doesn't identify or underestimates that. Impact's got an Overlord moving on in here. While he's trying to repel these Hellions as well, he's also trying to get a scout off, and looks like he will confirm that it is going to be a 3cc bio play, so this is a very good amount of information for the Zerg, but information's only useful if your drones stay alive. He loses 2 there. Definitely doesn't want to lose any more to these Hellions just darting on in.
Definitely doesn't. And I've seen Terran players every once in a while decide just to YOLO those Hellions in.
Oh, it's so fun. You got it. You got it.
I mean, you lose them all, but you can get around 10 or 15 drones if you do it. It's just the problem is then you concede map control.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It all depends if the Zerg's playing greedy or not, right?
Yeah.
Like, I played I had the honor of playing in a LAN tournament just the other weekend.
Oh, nice.
And I played versus this Zerg, and the first time I played versus him, like, he shut me down hard. And then the second time I just ran my Hellions in because he was, like, adjusting for my playstyle and was like, there's no way he's going to be aggressive early on because I'm kind of like a turtle in a sense.
Yeah.
And then I just run in my Hellions and he doesn't expect it, and it works.
Did you win with that?
I did. He just GG'd in about 3 seconds after my Hellions got to the mineral line.
Alright, well I think that's possible at our level, but I
don't
think I've ever seen a Zerg player at the pro level just go,
I mean, not in a tournament, but on ladder I think they do. Like,
okay, yes. Right, but
like if
on
you
the
see
highest...
a pro player stream, sometimes like they'll accidentally like cancel a building or whatever and they'll lose GG right away.
That's true. But I mean, I don't know, I've never seen a Zerg player in a professional tournament just be like, oh, I didn't see those Hellions coming, I have nothing to kill them, GG.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
But, I mean, again, you can get a lot of drone kills that way. I've seen Terran players win after doing that, so it's not like you just lose by giving up map control at that point. This Reaper's still alive, by the way, which I kind of like. Usually the Reaper is dead by this point in TvZ, but
yeah,
today aLive is keeping his alive.
I'd actually like it if aLive would dart this Reaper up the hill into the Zerg's base.
Can't hold him alone.
It's pretty easy to get a scout on Disco Bloodbath because that cliff is really near the main base, so if he did dart that into the main, he could have confirmed that it was a Spire he's going up against.
I'm in a heap of trouble.
True fact. I mean, it's going to be probably what we're looking at. Ling, Baneling, Corruptor would be my guess. The only player I've seen go Mutalisks recently is Scarlet, and she lost that game, so Corruptors are just tankier, they're beefier, they can handle shots from Marines, especially if they're not that well upgraded. So we'll see what he does. Spire done, 10 drones on the way. That tank positioning, I love that on this map.
Yeah, this is really nice for aLive. Does he have Hellbats that are going to come with this? Does he have the armor? Yes, he does. So he can even morph Hellbats to buffer for this push. aLive's going to, or Impact's going to try and shut this down. aLive just loads on up into his medivacs there. Ling's flooding on in. Got to take care of those tanks. Wrapping around the bio. It's going to be close. Can he hold?
Yeah, he's got it held here. The tanks are gone. The bio is running for their lives. I really feel like a Hellbat transition or transformation would have been good there.
Yeah, they would have buffered a lot, and there was so many links, so they definitely would have helped out. Even versus Banelings, like Hellbats are pretty good. Like it's very rare that Hellbats don't trade effectively versus Banelings.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that from aLive. I think he could have got more done, but
yeah.
Impact just doing. Oh, he's making Mutalisks too. He's going Muta. I mean, again, Mutas are better at killing tanks than Corruptors, no question. But they're just so flimsy.
Yeah, you got to be careful with them. So aLive's going to have more. Impact's going to have to be on point with this. Baneling rolling forward once again. Going to be shutting down that Marine post. Tank could be under fire now because Baneling's looking to pursue off-creep. That is the nice thing about having the Mutas. If the Terran overextends, you can punish them pretty hard. And
yeah, and that's the thing. I think a lot of Terrans are used to just leaving their tanks alone and not having to protect them because Corruptor is the tech of choice. But with their Mutalisks, you can't leave those tanks alone or they're going to die.
No, and look at this. aLive's getting completely pushed back here to, like, just to the center of the map. Ooh. Oh, no, Impact. Oh, the flimsy Mutas. You were right calling those flimsy.
Yes, and that's the downside of Mutalisks. They can kill tanks, but they will also get crushed if they stand in and try to fight Marines at this point in the game for too long.
Yeah, Impact.
I mean, even 1 second. Your reaction time needs to be so fast so those Mutas die.
Now, all aLive does have here is Marines, really. He's got a tank and 2 mines coming forward, so he is starting to add those extra units. He's up to 3 factories, I believe, or 2 factories for the time being. And
yeah,
we'll see if he is able to make a push happen. He's moving forward. Gonna get a wheel mine shot there. Nicely done from the Terran. Supply is eerily close here. And just the positioning that aLive has been using to attack into the Zerg has been very, very nice. The 4th base here, tough for Impact to defend. He's looking to dislodge the Terran. However, aLive hasn't been completely repelled across the map. If Impact can repel aLive across the map just once, it buys the Zerg so much room to breathe. But so far, he hasn't been able to successfully do that. And
Oh
he
my
just
gosh,
made
another shot!
mine.
What? And
Oh,
another
and
one!
another, oh no, Impact.
Okay,
Oh,
Impact.
and the Marines picking them off.
Oh, this is so good for aLive here. Impact has got his Mutas hit by 3 Widow Mines. That's crazy.
Disastrous. Like, you can't have this happen as a Zerg.
No, and see, what aLive is doing here is keeping the pressure on, so Impact has not really felt comfortable just droning, expanding 5 times.
No,
He has been making drones here and there. He is on 77, which is nice, but he doesn't quite have the army.
No, he's got to pounce on this, right? At some point, but I guess he's just waiting for the right opportunity. The main thing is that there's no creep here for Impact. It's literally aLive on your doorstep, just touching your hatchery.
Yeah, it's not great. He's
Okay,
going
Impact's
for it.
going.
This is a committal right here.
I don't know how this is going to work out. Widow Mines are in the mix, so we'll see how their shots go. Nothing too amazing here for the Terran player. The Zerg really collapsing on top of everything, and it looks like the bio will fold. So Impact manages to dislodge the Terran.
Just barely has enough to push aLive back, but guess what? aLive's been macroing back home. He's got units being produced constantly. It's going to come in and get some nice shots off on those Mutalisks. With the Thor here, actually getting rid of these Mutas, another couple shots, and they're all going to go down.
It is a bad day to be an Impact Mutalist.
I'm telling you.
21 Mutas have died this game.
Yeah, that's the risk,
We
man.
haven't even seen the Mutas do anything but die this game, it seems.
I mean, they killed a tank.
A tank.
A tank.
Oh, man. I don't know about this one for Impact. Mutas are looking to pursue back to Medivacs once more. Lings on the ground, and Mutas are very quick to pursue a Terran army. Once again, though, aLive with reinforcements, maybe able to tell this Widow Mine's going off. An Overseer needs to get an in here so the Widow Mine count can be reset. So far, though, it looks like Impact is keeping this going. He has managed to repel aLive, and this is going to buy himself a lot of time here.
Yeah, I mean, aLive has been happily sitting on, what, 4 bases this whole time? He hasn't been bothered.
His 4th base here.
Did he get harassed? You know, I noticed you scrolled down to that bottom base. Did you see something? I didn't see anything happen
no,
there.
just the state that it's
Oh, okay.
Like, in this game, I don't think macro has been aLive's main priority. He's just been pushing. He does have a 4th base, which is nice, and look at that, yeah. All the mules being dropped there. aLive's income is going to shoot on up here.
Yeah, Impact has been given some time to breathe, which is what you don't want to do in a TvZ.
No, it's not a good feeling as the Terran sitting back and doing nothing.
I can't believe Impact is still making Mutalisks. I thought for sure he'd start going Corruptor.
Probes are dying. Widow Mine drop here.
All right. I mean, 5 workers is okay at this point, but
Yeah,
Impact has it. It's making 10 at a time.
Workers, so not
He
like
is, but he's got
super
10 drones on the way. Yeah, he'll be all right. So loses the medevac. The Queen goes down. The Mutas can't engage here. These guys are too strong with our 3-3. But 40 Zerglings will be enough to handle it, it turns out, especially with that medevac support. So that base does come up for Impact. He's keeping it. I don't know that aLive knows that exists, or he would have tried to kill it by now. He does have a medevac right up next to it, though, I think.
I really agree with you, though. I don't think Impact should be making this many more Mutas. Take a
Nope.
look at his Baneling count. He's got 8 and he's making 7. And there's going to be a maxed out Terran army crossing the map right now. And you need a lot more than 15 Banelings to deal with that. Impact's making a few more, however. His heavy Baneling count his heavy Muta count has really lowered his Baneling numbers from what they could be. He's looking for a bit of a counterattack here with his Mutas getting on top of some Marines before they rally across the map.
Why is there a drone there? Anyway.
That is one of life's great questions. Now, we take a look. Terran players looking to push on in. Banelings rolling forward. Widow Mines are in place. Still Doors buffering. Marauders buffering. The Zerg player rolled in a few more Banelings, but that was pretty much... That was literally all of his Banelings for Impact. He's got nothing to deal with this other than just pure Ling, and his Mutas are across the map not helping out. Can he make the hold?
Man, these Thors are standing in pretty well. One does end up going down. The other one still firing from distance here. The Marines supported by the medevacs. Lings are just struggling to get in here and do something.
Impact, he's getting good damage done to aLive on his side of the map, but if everything's dead, if the Zerg players aren't as gone,
get the hatch.
The
Finish
medivacs
the
healing
hatch.
as hard as they can.
Oh my gosh, aLive's not finishing
Look
the
at
hatch.
the medivacs healing this army, just keeping this 3-3 bio alive. It's not dying. They have killed so many units here. The efficiency for aLive is absolutely insane.
13 kills on that Marine, 10
What?
on that
oh
one.
my gosh.
Hey!
Alive. My prediction goes down the drain.
He heard you. He was watching the stream and he was like, dude, don't even. You should have believed in me, LaughNgamez. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's what I'm
indeed.
talking about. That was all the Zerg player was able to do, was just go Mutalisk, Lings, and Banelings with Queen support. aLive can handle that, and he did. As you saw there, the upgrades, the healing was amazing, the Thors were incredible, the Mutalisks not as good as they wanted to be, and that turns out to a game 1 win for aLive. Just fantastic.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get on into the next game here. Just tweak the audio a little bit. And the next map's gonna be Triton. I think Impact had no reason to lose that game, though.
What do you think lost it for him?
He maybe Caster Curse. He repelled the Terran attack, which is like when a Zerg manages to do that and has that much breathing room as Impact had, like you generally think the Zerg's in a good place.
You do. You do, but the harassment and the pressure was just consistent enough after that. The thing is, aLive only stayed away for about a minute, and that wasn't enough time for Impact to get up and comfortable on multiple bases with as many drones as he possibly could want and start teching. He was able to expand and drone up, but he never got to the Ultralisks. He never got to the Broodlords, and that's what ended up killing him.
It's because he made so many mutas that he couldn't afford to.
And the mutas did not pay for themselves.
I'm just thinking, like, if he had 30 Banelings instead of his 15 mutas, defending that Terran attack would have gone a lot better. And even just the decision-making for that attack, like, he moved his Lings around, he kind of fed into the Terran and bled off. I definitely think, like, one or with a replay or something, or 1 or 2 tweaks, that Impact definitely can take that game. As I think he did most of the legwork with holding off the initial attack, and that's really the toughest part for a Zerg, I feel.
I have to agree.
Alright, anyway, here we are. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map, he's got himself the 1-0 lead in this best of 5. It's aLive.
And in the top left, he's not in a happy spot. He's Impact.
Right now, Impact's larva, they're sweating, worrying that they're going to be turned into a Mutalisk.
I can't shake the feeling that if those are Corruptors, it's a different game.
Yeah, really. Because, I mean, the Medivacs, too, at the end for aLive just kept his bio going just so much longer past their expiry date.
Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, it's probably just a reaction to the fact that they were Mutalisks, so aLive didn't make a lot of tanks. So the Mutas just didn't have anything to kill that way. I guess if there had been Corruptors, maybe more tanks would have come around. I mean, that makes sense for Impact to react that way, but man, it just looked really bad with all those Mutas out, having to fight directly against Marines and Widowmines and Thors because there was nothing else for them to do.
Yeah, and I mean, Impact did lose like 20 mutas that game when he definitely shouldn't have. We saw him eating those Widowmine shots again and again. And so, if we're really going to talk about that game for starters, he should probably not do that again. And we'll see if he does that in this one here. For now, though, pretty standard openings coming out of both these guys.
Well, I'm just so surprised because every Zerg I've seen in his EVT recently has gone Corruptor, except for that one game with Scarlet where she went Mutalisks in her series against Massa, lost, and never went Muta again. She was just like, Corruptors it is from now on.
Really? It's honestly been a while, I feel, since I've watched her cast like a Bio versus Zerg game that got to that point. And so, I can't really weigh in on that. But, Corruptors definitely can be good. And I feel like that's one of the questions if you ask a Zerg, like every Zerg player you ask, you'll get a different answer. And look at this. aLive's so smart. So smart. Big brain.
Yeah. Oh, and he blocks the...
Oh, Impact, though.
Juked.
What
a juke.
Both these players on point. And, oh, man, I love this coming out of Impact right now. He's doing the Zerg thing in which it's like, you know, that Reaper's just harassing my hatchery. I'm going to try and sneak across with my Lings. He does have to turn around, though, because the Reaper turns around.
Yeah, at the very least,
but
it
I love it when
drags the
Zergs
Reaper
do that.
away.
And just you're a Terran and randomly, like, 4 Lings show up to your base. Like, surprise!
And then you have to wait for the Hellions to show up or bring the Reaper all the way home. It's annoying. All right, so Reaper comes in for the actually scouts nothing because there was a queen waiting for him. But yeah, Impact's third base is up. Totally happy about that. Nothing really from aLive to tell us what he's doing other than Hellions, which is the standard opener for TvZ and has been for a while now. He is getting a faster starport though, which makes me feel like maybe it's going to be a Viking, perhaps Banshee or Liberator, but
Yeah,
my money
no
would be
tech
on
the factory as a tell.
Viking. There it is. Yep.
Or on the barracks, I mean. Right,
Milk
Sheila?
Steak 48 in chat says much love from Chicago, enjoying the stream so far. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks
very
for
kind words.
talking to us, because it's nice to get some English conversation in the chat here. We really appreciate it.
That is indeed why we are here.
So hello to the Windy City. Hope it's not too windy today, although it is getting into fall, so maybe it is. Anyway, Viking out. I like the Viking. As a Zerg player, I prefer that my overlords be able to scout without getting murdered, and the Viking effectively shuts that down for most of the time. So if you do something Zerg players hate, it's usually a pretty good decision.
aLive, once again, going for a bit of the greedy play. Third command center.
Yeah.
On the way again. Well, does this overlord spot it? Yes, he does. Nicely done for Impact, getting that tell. And this basically gives Impact a license to drone, identifying this early on. The earlier you identify a Terran 3rd CC, the nicer it is. Because, while you're not just going to be like, oh, he's built a 3rd command center, I'm going to kill him. No, you can't actually really do that as a Zerg. You definitely can make tweaks with your macro and basically be like, alright, I can start my upgrades early. As Impact is done, he can make a few more drones as opposed to making lings and being concerned.
Right. He still has to make enough lings to handle the Hellions that exist.
Yes, he
but
does. He really has to be prepared for this. This drop, I actually really love this play from aLive, how kind of... It's a little bit unexpected for the Zerg. It's not the most common build coming from a Terran. Those Hellions, though, they don't go forward, and it looks like they will be pushed back by these lings. That could have been a little dicey there for the Zerg.
it is some lost mining time. Third base has an attack going on as well for Impact up at the right side.
Oh, Reaper.
As Reaper gets in and tries to get some stuff done, but Speedlings on creep are basically the Reaper's worst nightmare.
Equinox, saying hello from the Philippines.
Oh, hello to the Philippines, Equinox. Glad you could make it. It's probably a more appropriate time to watch StarCraft over there than it is where we are right
Yeah,
now.
I think they're along probably just like an hour or two, probably around the afternoon if I'm not mistaken, because that's what time it is in Korea.
Philippines local time. Google says 10:30 a.m. Yeah, that's
Okay.
some great time to watch StarCraft.
That is, you wake up, I guess it's not Sunday or anything, so you can't just exactly lounge around too much, or maybe you can. I was able to lounge around today, that was nice. Play some ladder and whatnot.
It does sound nice. Equinox says TvZ is his favorite matchup because it's like Starship Troopers, which I've heard that comparison many, many times, and it remains true to this day.
I
It's
have not
humanity's
seen
fight
Starship
against
Troopers.
the. It's basically humanity's fight against the bugs in the future, so makes a lot of sense. Ender's Game also fairly similar to in the humanity versus the bugs theme, which might actually be a trope at this point. It's so common, but Impact is cruising around down south here with some lings. That does get
aLive,
scouted by
nice
a
scout.
Marine. Marine sacrifices his life so that we can know there are lings
Scouting
coming. Lift
things
it.
is only going to be react, though. But, oh, look at this. Marines and tank could be getting picked off here.
Yeah.
Medivac, very good.
Medivac, really good.
A drop in the main base, though, as a Terran. Impact needs to send these lings. Send them, or do something with them. There we go, just in time to catch these
Let's get
SPVs
cleaned
on
up
their
pretty much.
return. Meanwhile, oh, look at this. Impact keeping the pressure on his opponent, going hard. He's
Oh,
even got
God.
failings towards the third.
This is one way you can punish a greedy Terran, is this kind of triple prong
wow.
setup. Yeah, that third base advantage for aLive is now gone.
He
Although
does have a
attack in
drop
the main
of the
base.
Zerg. These queens are going to have to buffer a little bit while something else comes to respond to this. Lings are coming, and just one drop of Marines isn't too terrifying.
No. Supply depot's going down trying to supply block aLive, but he's lost so much stuff that's not actually going to work.
Look on the bright side.
Oh, did not get picked up by the medevac there. The Marines are
those were some
calling
nice
for it.
main links.
Anyway, hello to the Ukraine for Awards SC2 here. Is that wait? I know that name. Mowards is here too.
That's one of the nice things about the StarCraft 2 community. Like,
Man.
everyone from everywhere loves StarCraft 2.
truth. We get people from all over the world. Brood War too is I've been streaming some Brood War out on YouTube, and we'll get people from all over the world watching that. So, same story. It is just it's got to appeal to everyone. All right, so aLive finally really putting on some pressure for the first time here. He's been defending for quite a while now. Impact did sacrifice drones to do that. He's at 72 workers, but not quite as healthy as he wants to be. He is going Infestation Pit earlier than he did in game number 1. So
Impact,
that's going to help. And Impact going for the southern attack. He also did drop in the main. He's going after SCVs in there too. All right, so here we go. The Lings are actually in a fantastic position to get a surround on some of those Marines. They're not clumped up. The third base is under attack here too. aLive is just falling apart at the seams right now. He's only got 50 workers. Marines keep getting surrounded and killed by Lings, which is not even what fair. It's not what they want to do.
Oh man, more Lings just all over the place here too for the Zerg. Impact, that hive is now on the way. And look at all the Lings you can make when you don't make mutas. And look at all these banelings you can make when you don't make mutas. Impact is just having a ball here.
Oh, it takes out the Widow Mine.
The Ebase, is he gonna crash into Ebase?
Might as well.
Just Banes into everything. These Marines are in over their head here as the banelings crash into everything. And Impact ties up the series.
That was Impact just basically saying, you're greedy, I'm going to pressure you everywhere with Lings and banelings and just slowly whittle you down to death. So, well played. Well played by Impact, proving you don't need the GG Lords to win in a ZVT. He was able to do it just with Lings and banelings, and maybe some Drop Lords too.
Alright, next map is going to be World of Sleepers to decide who's going to take the lead next. And that's the Impact I wanted to see coming out.
Yeah, tied up 1-1, looking pretty good in that 9-minute game. Also, hit that thumbs up button. It's just below my face on the screen right now. But yeah, if you do that, it just helps get more visibility here on AfreecaTV.com. More people will watch and hopefully get some more conversation going, which is always nice when you're watching StarCraft. Having chats with other people who love the game too, and sure, most of the time it evolves into balance whining. Everybody hates everybody else because they're a different race than they are, but it can be fun too. Yeah, greetings from Chile. Or I can't even say that name. Carafalo? That is hard to say. Can you see that?
Let's see.
Caraflo?
Carelfo? I think it's got to be Carel, right?
Carelfo. Carelfo. Something like that. We're butchering it.
Yeah. Names are hard. Names are hard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get everyone on into the game.
Yeah, World of Sleepers for our next game here, which pretty macro style map. Usually do tend to see longer games out there, but sometimes people can take advantage of that and go for the aggressive stuff because everyone expects just a slow macro style game. So, you know, it kind of turns it into, well, is it actually a macro map or not? Just because of the mind games. We're trying to get aLive in here. Might be experiencing troubles.
Yes, where did aLive go?
He's been trying.
He's giving it his all, that's for sure.
There. Wait. Maybe. Here we go. Hey, what's up? Olo Zalap. Man, these names are good. Kara Elfo. Kara Elfo? Milksteak trying to hit the thumbs up more than once, which I appreciate. But yeah, Olo Zalap is here specifically saying, hey, Falcon, so what's up, man? Glad you could make it. These names are... We are struggling here today.
Thank God for Milksteak, right?
Yeah, Milksteak is saving us. We're going to read all of your chats because your name is easy to say, Milksteak. Should cast StarCraft 2 matches on... So just, did you just say that C? I just realized I don't know how you say SEA for that region. C, I guess. SEA seems like it's too hard to say. But anyway, I mean, yeah, we do actually do some of this with players, with foreigners, right? It's not always Koreans. We go for Europeans mostly, but it'd be kind of fun to get somebody like Probe in here. That'd be interesting. Like that guy.
We have had Probe before.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, though, like ping from Southeast Asia, like from Korea to like Australia, is actually really high. It's less than it is from Australia to North America, but
Mm.
hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Blizzard, please put the Australians on Korean server instead of North America.
Poor Australians, though. Just throw them to the wolves.
I'm not gonna lie, my ladder experience has been a lot better since I learned how to block getting queued with Australians.
How do you do that?
You have to edit your firewall settings, but you can block the Australian server IPs, and it's actually so much better, so you don't get placed on like Brazil or Australia or Singapore anymore. It's really nice.
Huh.
Like,
I didn't know that was possible.
yeah, you can Google it. It's made my ladder experience a lot better, so you don't get tilted or whatever queuing up and getting 300 ping because you're on NA, but you got placed on Australia.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Anyway, here we are, spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map. It's aLive.
And in the top right,
Ooh.
it's Impact. He's got that Carbot Zerglin circling over his base.
You know what he's also
Looking
got?
so cute.
An early
That's a 12 pool, man. That is a 12 pool timing.
I like it. I like it a lot.
He's like, I don't want to play a macro game against aLive. Let's just kill him fast.
I can't remember what matchup it was that, like, aLive has, I think it was either in regards to TvZ or TVP. I can't remember which one. aLive just was like, no, I won't SCV scout. It's not worth it, and it doesn't tell you any information you need. And so I just say, just cheese aLive.
I mean, he's asking for it, is what's happening here.
Yeah, and he's got no idea.
He has no... Yeah,
you want to bet he moves across the map with his Reaper?
Oh my gosh. The Lings aren't even taking the alternate path. They're just like, let's go! Oh wait, now they are.
Okay.
Kind of splitting off. Oh, they're...
Oh.
Are they hiding? Oh, the Reaper's staying home, though. He knows. He
aLive.
didn't SCV scout, so he has to stay home. He's smart.
No.
No, he didn't wait long enough.
aLive's impatient, man. Oh, what? He loops around. Oh, does he see him? Yes, he does. Okay. aLive
Saves
manages
it.
to see that, making the right call, which makes me kind of glad as a Terran, because every time I see a Terran died due to not scouting an early pool, it's like, come on, it's literally the oldest cheese in the book.
It really is.
The reactor should be getting repaired, and it will be. The command center is on time, so very nice early defense coming out of aLive.
Yeah, aLive is ahead after that.
Oh, the SCV? Oh, that's a nice hit, at least for impact.
Yeah, at least he got something out of it. He didn't just lose 6 Zerglings for effectively nothing. Alright, well, yeah, impact is down. He should have a third base coming up already, and he doesn't because of that. He didn't actually stop the construction on the command center for very long at all. And there it is. And yeah, aLive is up, man. It's looking good for him this game.
Oh, and look at this, aLive adding insult to injury. The Zerg is already thrown off a little bit by having just gone for an early pool. Now he's going to be losing an Overlord on top of that.
Yes, this is kind of snowballing against impact right now.
Oh, and look at this, an armory on the way, more Hellions on the way, a Medivac. We're going to be seeing aLive just go for a kill move. He says, right, you try and cheese me, you try and make some early lings, I'm just going to cook you up.
Gonna bring those Hellbats, get him healed up with those Medivacs, and call it good. I still, to this day, do not understand why Hellions can't be healed by Medivacs, but Hellbats can. They're the same thing. They're literally all the same pieces.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. Impact, I boldly predicted you to 3-0 here.
aLive is
dying inside.
aLive is up in worker count. And there's Cloak Banshee on the way.
Ah! Oh, 12 drones.
Oh,
Double
no.
digits.
I mean,
so sad.
Like, someone start playing taps. We had somebody actually leave work for paternity leave the other day.
Oh? Did you play that song?
As he's walking out, somebody starts playing that from their desk. And he's like, I hate all of you, and then leaves. It was great. Yeah, Pig is a caster. Pig's also a really good StarCraft player. He's competed professionally.
He qualified for WCS C, surprisingly. Like, in the past season or two it was. Even he was surprised.
Pig's legit.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that he just quit trying out in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was just ready for the casting thing to take off. And to
Now
be
you
fair,
know
he's a
who's
great
not
caster.
ready for something?
Well, you know what?
Maybe he is. What?
Yeah, that's an event.
Well,
Why would
okay, that's pretty good. Catching all them hellions.
He was totally ready for it, actually. The queen
I
count
thought he
was
wasn't.
key
I
there.
mean, he only had queens and like a handful of lings, but aLive just put the brakes on that and retreated out.
The problem with queens is they're hard for Hellbats to kill, and they transfuse.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just hard. You'll win that, but it takes forever, and
That
you didn't
11
have forever.
drones on the way.
Dude, is Impact coming back from this?
I think he might be, and he just scouted that it's mech out of aLive, so he knows what's coming his way. And it's a lot harder to punish your opponent when you're playing mech as opposed to when you're playing bio. Like, you got more wiggle room as the Zerg, I feel, to come back. We take a look at this. Overseer and Queens in position, deflecting the Banshee is very nicely done for Impact. We should be seeing a 4th base on the way soon for the Zerg, and there it is.
Yeah, the timing's not as off as I expect it to be, although those Banshees can shut it down, but they're too busy worrying about these tumors.
Queens moving
Go
forward.
up! Shut it down! Ah, the Queens
And
are
look at
gonna...
that. The Queens are just going to respread the creep.
Yeah, that's why you make Queens, man. Good anti-air, decent anti-ground. They've got transfuse. They spread creep. Queens all the time make Queens.
Yeah, in the
aLive.
past.
aLive pushing in
Wow.
here with a bunch
Wow.
of Hellions.
That
has
is,
got to be
that is
Hellbats.
more than a bunch. That is like that's a whole barrel full of hellions.
And if you hadn't scouted it, at this point, Impact would know it's mech. Because you don't make that many
Surprise!
Hellions. Banelings, though, split!
Oh, those Hellbats all clumped up nicely to eat those Banelings. A few Roaches are on the way for Impact. He's just got to buy himself a few more seconds here for his Roaches to pop out. So his Queens just got to keep waddling away. And this attack is being shut down hard.
Yeah, like I said, the Queen's doing pretty well here. They're not amazing, but they can slow it down. They're keeping drones from dying.
Yeah, the Roaches
They really
around.
want to
This is
kill the
completely fine
Banshees,
for Impact.
but the Banshees are actually not doing as good. But Roaches are here, and Roaches are the answer to the Hellbats, and we're out. Swing. So decent attack. I feel like Impact lost quite a bit there, but in the long run, he's up worker count.
I think this is pretty good for Impact. The fact that the Terran just committed so much there and didn't get a lot done. Like, that was a lot of Hellions.
Yes. It was a lot of Hellions.
Roach Speed about to finish up for the Zerg. Roach is a very well-rounded unit for dealing with mech. Impact going for a Nidus. That's good to see as well. A Zerg player looking to turn on the aggression a little bit to his opponent. Definitely a good option for dismantling mech.
Yeah, we're race car meching it here. Sure seems like it, but guess who's
Ooh,
going
Swarm Host.
Nidus Swarm Host?
I've heard a
in
lot
answer to
about this. I haven't honestly encountered it too much or played versus or seen it too much, but I've heard that this can be quite a powerful style here from the Zerg player.
It can. I've definitely seen it beat before by a Terran player running race car mech like this. You just really have to be on top of the Niduses, or just try to keep the Swarm Host in defense, which this is kind of what this is right now. Lock On doing some good stuff here versus the Roaches, really thinning them out, but losing some Cyclones and Hellions at the same time. Banshee. Oh yeah, that tank mixed in is such a nice addition to this style.
Getting good shots off, and look at this, another 2 tanks rolling up. This is kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah, the tanks are sieging up. The Locusts are used in base defense,
coming from behind.
which is not what they want to do, and you can just kind of run away from it, and then the Swarm Hosts are useless for another 41 seconds. They are going to get the tanks, though, because they can't run.
Yeah, getting the tanks is nice, and it looks like Impact will be able to repel this, it would seem. For now, anyway.
Guys, go back in, man. Those locusts die. The swarm hosts are dead army supply right now for impact.
Yeah, the cooldown isn't that long though, but oh, look at this. Liberator's getting queued on up here for aLive. Spore Crawlers have to reposition to deal with this. One in the third, one in the natural. Meanwhile, the push continuing on at the front.
Nidus is erupting, but nothing come out of those worms quite yet.
Yeah, the swarm hosts are just chilling for the time being. There we go. Now
there we go. I think aLive basically says if I keep the pressure on the Zerg, he can't win a base race against me with swarm hosts.
I think this is good for impact though. Like aLive's army, it's not a killing army really. Like
the locusts are doing so much work on the other side right now too.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, 17 SCVs down. You can lift your buildings. Great.
Yeah, I don't think aLive's gonna be able to kill impact, and that's a GG. The Zerg player, like, with that Hellion Cyclone, it's actually tough to get, like, a kill because you can't just, like, say, charge on in like Stim Marines can.
Right. There's too much kiting involved to do anything like that. True fact. So, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed there in aLive. He had such an advantage in the early game and then just decided, nope, wasn't going to happen. Lost a couple engagements there. Basically just allowed the Zerg player to get up to that swarm host thing. Didn't do anything to shut down the Nidus worms at all. Really was just focused on the front, and that's not how you beat Nidus. You really have to be on top of those worms.
Yeah, all it really takes is like one round of or one good attack from, say, the Locust or whatever, or in the Nidus Swarm, and it just takes all the wind out of your opponent's sails.
Yep. Slows it down. The momentum is pretty much gone at that point, so rough stuff there indeed. So Zerg player takes that 2-1 lead. So my prediction's not looking very good. It's still alive, but it's not
more
healthy.
accurate than mine still.
It's way better than yours. At least so far. We have a fan club member from
you want to pronounce
DKW.
that?
Dickwook Derms. Dickwook Derms. The players are ready to go, and yeah, Milksteak just feels biased for the humans. He doesn't really feel any empathy for the bugs.
I remember one of my favorite players, Supernova, did an AMA, and it's like, why did you pick Terran? He's like, because I'm a human.
It's a fair reason.
It's like, well, can't argue with that logic.
I mean, it's the first race you play both in the StarCraft campaign and the StarCraft 2 campaign, so I think it's a lot of first people's exposure to StarCraft is with Terran.
Yeah, it might have been a bit much at first for it to be like, you're all a bunch of bugs. You look like, eh. Alright, here we are. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map. He's down 1-2. It's alive.
And in the top left, he's looking all right. It's Impact.
Yeah, well played from Impact in that past game. I just feel like aLive, he should have just, I don't know, maybe gone for like bio or whatever after that. As I feel like you're just way more likely to throw a game playing mech than you are bio if you've got a lead.
I agree. I think a more standard play would have been better for him. Like I said, I just feel like Zergs have got race car mech figured out.
They do. I've never liked that style from the start, pretty much. And some players, it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's all right, but it's just so costly. Like, Hellions and Cyclones are not cheap at the rate Terrans like to throw them away. So, like, a 3-base, like aLive was doing with Hellions and Cyclones, like, it's not that good because it's so costly and it's not that strong.
It's not. It takes a lot of micro to control.
Yeah,
I mean, I did see them win against Zerg players who went Broodlord against it for some reason.
Yeah, that's
terrible
when the Terran's
choice.
hitting all over, though, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You just basically go where the Broodlords are not. They're so slow, they can't respond at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but the thing is, aLive was just like trying to bash his head into the Zerg wall there, and it doesn't usually work out. That's not where the style exceeds. Like, if you're gonna see a race car mech work, I feel like you got to be a Terran who's on like 4 or 5 bases, and then you can afford just to like throw it around and try and hit the Zerg absolutely everywhere. But like 3 base versus 3 or 4 base Zerg, just trying to kill the Zerg with Hellion Cyclones, there's a lot better compositions to go about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so learned your lesson. Go bio.
Yes. Go bio. Try and kill the Zerg before the late game. It's worked for years. Why change it now?
Don't mess with tradition.
Yep. aLive gets 1 Ling. Gets a second nice micro there.
Hey, 2 Lings is more than the average Reaper gets in their life.
Back in the good old days when Zergs didn't know how to micro. And just
Yeah.
in pro games, it's like, well, the Zerg lost 3 drones. That's all right.
Yeah, it used to be that.
Yeah, now
you're not
Zergs
wrong.
are just so good at defending it.
The timing makes sense too. I mean, it's the Lings come out just in time. The Queens pop just when they're needed, and the reaction to it too is also just amazing. Just the map awareness, the creep spread is always fantastic too. Zergs just are a lot better than they used to be.
Third CC on the way for aLive once again. I definitely like his, or admire his willingness to continuously go for this style. And I mean, Impact is going to scout this though. He's getting that pneumatized carapace, and I really like how the Zerg's willing to go for that scout over and over again.
I mean, that's just so key no matter what rates you play. If you can scout what your opponent is doing, no, you can't always stop them because you're going to run up against people who are just better than you on ladder, and that's really demoralizing. But it feels better if you know what's coming and you can at least try to stop it. And if you know what's coming, your chances of stopping it increase about 80%. Being caught by surprise is the worst. I had a game the other day where I actually did go for some link pressure, managed to kill the Protoss player's natural base. They never expanded. I did a good job keeping an eye on what was going on outside, but I didn't scout what they were doing inside their main base. And then suddenly it was just like basically a 4-gate stalker attack with a ton of stalkers, and I wasn't quite ready for it. I just had roaches. I needed some lings, didn't have them, and I died. It was amazing. Got killed by a 1-base Protoss.
God bless North America.
Seriously, it was full NA, man.
Ladder's a good time. Oh, aLive.
See, yeah, that's your engineering
that's
big guy.
yours. It's not a changeling. Imagine if an overseer could just pop out a changeling eBay.
I kind of support being able to throw up like a supply depot.
That would be the
changeling.
most hilarious thing. That'd be fantastic.
Great. The Terran would think he has more supply than he has because he's counting his depots. It's like, wait a second, how am I supply blocked? 5 of these are changelings. Blah, 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 blah. All right, well, those were YOLO Hellions, but they only got 4 drones, which is not enough for YOLO Hellions. And now Impact's like, make 10 drones go. Bam.
Yep.
Done.
Pressing that D key.
Holding it down. All right, so the only answer we need to see here from Impact is you're going to go Corruptors, Mutalisks.
Or
Because
none.
based on the upgrades here, it's not going to be Roach Ravager or Hydra.
He has yet to get a Spire. And I mean,
Drop-
he won that last game, which he just made Lings win.
It's true. And Drop Lords again, too. That's exactly what we saw that last time.
Yeah, it could just be a repeat here now. He does still have to be in position to defend versus the Terran. aLive's going to be coming in with this stimmed bio push. Going to have to dive on top of creep, though. Queens, Lings, and Banes looking to repel these Marines.
And that's
We'll
a
do
repel.
Good job of that.
Oh, these Lings are doing such a great job following these dudes around. They're going to die for it, which is annoying, but knowing where those medevacs are is more important. Oh, 24 Lings in production. 1-1 coming in for those Lings. We are gonna ton of Banes.
Banelings
Oh,
in the natural.
reaction.
Oh, he wasn't expecting the Banes. aLive saw that, but I don't think he must have expected Lings or something because his Marines were coming, but his SCVs did not run.
Zigguratopher says aLive hasn't shaken his bad habit of walling with engineering base. Reasonable concern.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you lose
He's also
upgrades.
got a supply drop on top of one of his wall depots.
Ooh, that's even worse.
That is worse. That's like, hey, you want some extra value, Zerg? Lings coming on in, repel these Marines. aLive's dropped, not getting a lot done this game. So far, though, the big attack hasn't happened. Looks like it's just about to get started here. aLive's crossing the map. He's got some mines. He's got some marines. And he's stepping onto creep. Can Impact repel this? Oh, a few banelings
looking like
roll
he
forward.
will.
aLive on creep, eating a nasty baneling connection. Loses a few marines. Queen baits out that Widow Mine. Friendly fire.
Yeah, aLive just doesn't have enough. Look at all these banelings.
Oh man, this is no good.
I mean, even going off creep, the splits are not fast enough. They're not crisp enough here. Too many hits. I think aLive's just going to tap. He's not even really microing at this point.
No, what is he doing, really? Like, he's rallying out a few
I don't
marines.
know.
He's making a few liberators. He doesn't have a drop or anything across the map. Looking at his vision, it's like he's just waiting to die.
He is. He's just sitting back, waiting to die.
He's like, oh, I'll drop
Impact
some
making
mules.
18 more banelings on the way.
Does he have
What is
18
life?
marines? He does. He's got 18 marines.
Oh, no.
That's not a good ratio for the Terran.
Real bad.
I mean, the supply is still relatively even, but Impact's creep, his Bane count, it's just looking pretty good for him. I mean, aLive's not dead by any means yet, but I'm very, very happy with Impact's position in this game.
I really don't have any complaints at all. He's expanding. He has so many banelings. He's getting 2-2 for his dudes, although 2-2 finishing up now for aLive's bio.
Yeah, could be a bit of a timing here for the Terran. Banelings roll forward, though, and oh, look at this. There's the counterattack. These Marines holding strong, though, on this ramp. I mean, they're doing pretty well for themselves. Lings are getting cleaned up. Everyone, wait, 13 drones died somewhere.
Widow Mines?
Maybe Widow Mines, maybe just a Marine drop or something. Oh, more Lings coming on in, though. aLive thought it was over, but it's not. Lings in his main base still causing trouble, and now there's all sorts of Lings at his third base.
Banelings joining the party. Player 2.
These SCVs, oh dear, oh dear.
25 SCVs down,
that's
27
just,
SCVs.
oh no. Oh, the Bane's even rolling forward off creep. Like, that at first wasn't too bad for aLive, but that's it. Impact takes the 3-1.